I've definitely figured out in disc golf that I have two types of good rounds. I have on one side, good drive, good approach, mediocre putt. On the other side, I have mediocre drive, mediocre approach, great putt. I definitely have a preference over one or the other. So we're gonna talk about that a little bit. All right, today we're gonna do a little more vlog style, I think. So I'm just gonna talk and throw. So this weekend I got to play the NADGT, which is the National Amateur Disc Golf Tour event here in Conway, or not here, but up in Conway. I'm not in Conway. I didn't think I was gonna make it up to the amateur championship or anything like that. Like I didn't think I was gonna win, take it down, and think, you know, you always hope that you take it down, but I didn't have a high hope for it. So I get this angle right. So going into it, I just wanted to put up a good rating, you know, bump myself up. I'm 900 rated. I really want to be above that. So that was my main goal of the round. So round one, had a good round. I shot 7 under, 940 rate at the end. Was happy with that. I feel like I was making tons of putts from within the circle. I don't think I made any outside the circle. But I felt good. I kept almost, you know, kept flashing chains with the outside the circles. There was a couple holes that I felt the driving wasn't good on that I definitely could have gotten that I missed and I wanted back. And I definitely told myself, hey, on those holes for the second round, you've got to come back. You've got to catch those. Those were shots that you should have made. That was my mental game going into round two was, hey, you're putting good. Just fix those drives. You'll do even better. You can get higher than 7 under. It's possible. I've done it. So going into round two, that's all I wanted to adjust was my drives. So we get to round two and focusing on the drives. I made a couple improvements early on, but then my putting just starts failing me. I started missing holes that I should have made or I did make on the first round that I'm not making now. And they're easy putts. I'm talking 15, 20 feet. You know, they look easy. I'm just chaining out or just missing in general. I'm just like, what is going on? And that carries on through half the round. I just start missing holes that I got last time that should have been easy makes. And it's wrecking my confidence. And I was able to fix those drives, but my putts just started going all over the place. And it felt kind of terrible. And so I realized if you've been in disc golf for a while, you've probably heard the phrase, putt for dough, drive for show. Or drive for show, putt for dough, whatever it is. And I heard that a lot when I was learning disc golf. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, you got to drive to get there to be able to putt. But having played disc golf for a while, especially with all range of skill levels and going from different skill levels myself, I realized that there is some validity to that. If, even as an amateur or a beginner, yeah, you gotta be able to make it to the basket, but you can get there in 2 or 3 drives, even if you can't get there with one. But I've seen so many people just flounder at the basket and just miss a bunch of putts and doubled what they had. I mean, it took them 2 or 3 drives to get there, but now they're triple putting at the basket. And again, whether that, you can argue whether that's for the professionals or not, whether that still counts. I mean, again, Isaac Robinson throws 400, 500 feet. Anthony Barela can throw 600, 700 feet. But when it comes down to the putting green, Isaac Robinson's known for that, and he's won a lot of titles because of his amazing putting. So maybe it is something that the professionals do as well that all of us could learn from. Again, so I say all that, and you might be thinking to yourself, Sam, those are the same score. Why does it matter if you're making your putts or you're driving well? And honestly, I think it comes down to confidence. I felt really good in the first round making those putts. I felt unstoppable. You know, I had a few errant drives, but it was like, whatever, I can fix those. But the putting made me feel good. And I don't know if it has to do because it's at the end of the hole, but when you're putting good, the bad drives don't feel as bad. Like you throw off the tee, you're like, dang it, you know, I should have thrown that better. I could have thrown that better. But then you get up to the, you know, your long putt and you make that putt, or you don't, and now I feel miserable. Like that's an easy putt right in front of me that I should have made. I make 75% of the time I'm gonna make that, and now I feel like a dork that misses easy putts. And it's at the end of the hole, so now I'm going to the next hole feeling down, and it's gonna affect my drive, I feel like. But honestly, I'm glad that I was putting good on the first round and putting bad on the second round, because if I'd been putting bad on the first round, who knows where I would have been at mentally going into the second round, because these are putts that I know I can make. Even this, I know I can make this, and who knows where your mental game is going to be when you're, we've all been there where you're just missing those putts that you know you can make. I know I can make these longer putts. And somehow I still miss those shorter ones, and it gets into your head and you start flopping, and who knows where you're going to be at. Versus the drives, it's like, hey, driving is difficult. That's why we all do this game. I'm not perfect at it. You can make little errors, and you can know that you can fix them down the line. I guess when it comes down to it, my whole point is that putting is important, and I forget that sometimes. I get so focused on trying to constantly get over 400 feet or constantly land on the fairway, especially out here at a course like this, which that is hugely important out here somewhere like Stone Lakes. That is half the game, is staying in the fairway, because if you get off the fairway, you're kind of screwed on trying to even get anywhere for a putt. But I can forget how important it is, and I can get, go out and throw and practice that, and forget that the putting is really what's going to change you from something like an MA2 to an MA1 to actually compete. Funny enough, if I had played an MA2 like I normally do, I would have won my division. I think I would have won it by a couple strokes. But to win MA1, I mean, realistically, top guy was like 16-ish. There was 2 guys above him that shot 1,000 rated. Good job, you guys. That was insane, and hope to be there someday. But I would have had a fighting chance to normally MA1 in my division. If I'd made those putts, I could have been top. I could have been top 3. And so it's frustrating that to drop those putts and not make them is kind of what, those easy putts is kind of what ruined my round. But again, I'm an amateur. That's what's going to happen. If I don't get my drives up in the air, though, I'm not going to get anything out of them. You gotta get them up in the air if you want to get distance. That's my only tip. Don't get me wrong, I'm definitely not saying driving doesn't matter. That is hugely important, and obviously you can't get birdies or shoot super low if you're not getting near the basket. So those are hugely important things. But I think this is more of a reminder to me that I can get so wrapped up in trying to throw far or trying to break those personal distance records or trying to park the basket that I forget that if I 30 feet around the basket, so 60 feet in diameter, is a way bigger area to hit than 5 feet, which makes the hole 10 times easier if you can make those putts. Even now, if I think, hey, I need to park this hole, I have absolutely got to park this hole. I need to pin it so I don't have to putt. This hole just got a lot harder. It's a lot smaller now. Right? Not a terrible example because I did pretty good, but normally you miss that, you feel miserable. Oh, I didn't park it, now I'm gonna have to make a putt, yada yada. But if I go into it thinking, hey, I need to get within 30 feet because I can make a putt. All I have to do, that's a 60-foot target now rather than a 5 or a 10-foot. I hit my target. I'm within 60 feet. Let's go tap it in. I mean, yeah, I'm in a bush, but I'm only 15, 20 feet away. I know I can make that putt. Just got to get in here. Again, this is super easy. I'm 15 feet. This is a routine putt I make every time in the backyard. Why can't I make this now? I give myself a much bigger target. Now, tempo is even closer, and I did get within that thing. But again, if that's all I'm relying on is those 15 foot, it's going to suck when I miss one. Now, I'm not one to give putting advice. I'm not that good of a putter. So I can't really give any advice on how to get better. But if you're good at putting and know some good advice, I would love to hear routines or things that you guys do to improve your putting and to feel more confident, work on your mental game. Because again, so much of this is mental. And if I can expand my circle, think, hey, if I can get within 20, 30 feet of the basket, that's a much bigger target. If I can boost my confidence in making those putts and just be like, hey, give yourself a little grace, I guess, if you miss them, rather than I have to park it, it makes the throwing easier. And if I practice my putting more and make the putting easier, I might actually get good at disc golf. So, yeah, that was just some random thoughts and rambling I had from this round, or this weekend's round, that, again, I felt good. I've been feeling good lately, and it's really just my putting that's been getting off and making me feel not as good as I could be. So, if you can think of some good putting practice routines or things that work for you guys, let me know in the comments below. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more like it, let me know. As always, stay tuned for more, and thanks for watching. Appreciate it.